Cool. So, hey everyone, hope you all are doing great and keeping safe. And yes, I'm very happy to be here. And speaking at DevRelCon Tokyo this year. This is personally my first time getting involved with DevRelCon events, and hopefully more in the future as well. And yes, thanks a lot for joining in today for my session. As you can see on the screen itself, the title reads as Hackathons: Gateway to Collaboration and Open Source. So in this talk, you'll be understanding how collaboration can be a great asset and how one can begin the journey with open source while just being a part of any hackathon. And you'll also understand the relation between hackathon and FOSS. I'll also be discussing, ways one can get involved with the hackathon and various other communities as well. And I'll be sharing all of this along with my hackathon journey so far, which has happened. And I hope this would be something interesting to you. So make sure to attend it till the end, and let me just quickly bring the chats on one of my screens so that I can look out for that as well. Meanwhile, and I can already see many of the folks have joined us. So that's super awesome to see. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining in. And yes, before we start, I would really appreciate if you all would be active in chats and ask questions, that I can answer after my talk. And because I want to keep it as interactive as possible. So make sure you do that and feel free to let us know who you are, where are you joining in from, or what is that one thing you're looking forward to from this talk, and anything else as well. So feel free to drop those things into the chat. Before actually starting with the session, I have very fun challenge for you all. Few of the folks who have been seeing me online, I have already known about the same, but let me just reveal that fun challenge now. So the challenge is very simple. It's just, four simple steps. You need to count the number of times you see me in this entire talk of mine. This is the first step. Second step, after this talk ends, you need to share top 3 learnings from this talk along with that final count which you have, uh, understood. So make sure you share that. And the third step is you need to tweet it. You can tag me, you can tag DevRelCon, and make sure you're using the hashtag SidHacks, hashtag DevRelCon. I'm seeing you to, use the hashtag SidHacks so that we can identify who have participated in this challenge. Deadline is 6 June, 11:59 p.m. IST. And yes, I'll be giving away a swag to one of the lucky winners. Anyone who have highlighted the top 3 learnings in the best possible way, I'll be reaching out to them personally after 6 June, maybe on 7 June. And with that being said, first of all, good luck, everyone. Let us start with the session. So, first of all, let me give you all the general background. So, this is Siddharth Dayalwal, a student from India pursuing computer science and engineering. I am currently interning at SAWO Labs as a community development intern. I also more recently got accepted to the first ever class of DigitalOcean's Navigator program and the GitHub Campus Experts program as well. I'm also a former Prograde community intern. I also, I love to get involved with various student programs like Microsoft Launch Student Ambassador, AngelX Student Ambassador, and various others as well. Apart from all of this, I'm also the lead organizer of my very own hackathon, which is named as Hack This Fall. And talking more about me, I love interacting with people and help communities. Helping my community members is what I do on a daily basis. And I've been contributing to various student tech and hackathon communities for almost 2 years, till now. It's almost more than 2 years now. And my passion for hackathon is immense, and I've been part of 60 plus hackathons with different roles. And yeah, that was pretty much about me. But let's jump onto the topic. Cool. So at the very start, if you're someone who is new to hackathons, you might have this question, right? That what are hackathons? So before we move forward and I answer this question, let me know in the chats how many hackathons you have participated in or maybe contributed to. Even if you haven't got involved in the hackathons yet, then as well, feel free to let us know in the chats as well. Cool. And I'll be looking out for your chats as well. So make sure you drop them down. Awesome. So let's understand what are hackathons. Whoops. Yes, here we are. Now, according to the definition, hackathons are an awesome way to just bring your community together to learn new skills, build amazing projects, share ideas, and whatnot. And at the same time, a hackathon can also be best described as an invention marathon. Now, you might be wondering that for whom is this hackathon, or who can attend one? So answer is very simple. Anyone who has interest in technology attends a hackathon to learn, build, and share their creations over the course of a weekend in a very relaxed and welcoming atmosphere. Also, for becoming an attendee of a hackathon, you don't have to be a programmer, and you certainly don't have to be majoring in any of the computer science or IT field. So just imagine, where does this concept of a hackathon come from? Basically, hackathons are also called a hack day or hack fest, and this was born out of the open source community. Yes, you heard it right. We'll also talk more about it, but now let's talk about what are the impacts that hackathon brings. Cool. So, being a part of any hackathon brings a lot of opportunities and many ways with which one can contribute to solving the shared problems of our society. So, let us understand what are the few out of many impacts that hackathon creates. And while I speak, if you have experienced any hackathon, which I can see many of the folks have already, do let us know in the chats the best outcome about it or any of your best experience from that hackathon. Now, first point over here, in the hackathon ecosystem, a problem is not just considered as a problem, but it is seen as a problem that gives way to an opportunity. Now you need to understand this. There are like multiple problems around us which needs the solution, or maybe we can say a better solution. Now for creating a solution, there are different end goals which surrounds a hackathon. That's why we can say that hackathons helps in solving a problem. Also, hackathons are inclusive. Now, when I say inclusive, I mean it is open for everyone, not just coders or computer science students, as I said earlier. Hackathons are for a diverse and dynamic group of programmers, creators, designers, builders, and any other title or role which you can think of. It's not just limited to, computer science majors or anything else as well at the same time. Next up is like hackathons also serve as an opportunity for both kinds of people, that is extroverts and introverts, where they can just foster their relationships and their social and interpersonal skills. And it happens while they engage in something they have shared and genuine interest in, right? So people from different backgrounds just gather at a single place to learn something, to collaborate, and to grow at the same time. And not only this, hackathon helps educating people. Now, if you are attending a hackathon, you will definitely become better than before. Because what happens is that you get an opportunity to just learn from others and teach them at the same time. You get to add projects to your portfolio to which can help you make yourself stand unique from others. And yes, hackathon helps create valuable connections as well. Now, anywhere I go, I personally more focus on networking, connection building, and hackathons are a great place to meet like-minded people who all are having different backgrounds, different skill sets, and various experiences to share at the same time. Next up, we'll definitely talk about collaboration, but it can be like collaborating with people, making projects, then earning prizes, new skills, building connections, availing internship, and many other way. So there can be like lots and lots of opportunities which are created via hackathon. Then hackathon helps create a community. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll definitely talk more about that maybe in the next slides. Cool. Now, when I said hackathon helps create a community, I meant hacker community. Now, there are different meaning of the word hacker, but I would like to make it clear at this particular moment that here the hacker is not the one who is just breaking into the systems and doing some kind of robbery. Instead, hacker is the one who is participating in a hackathon. So, what actually a hacker community is, I would love to know from the audience as well. If you have been to any hackathon, you might have definitely experienced the hacker community over there. So, what according to you a hacker community is? Please let us know in the chat as well. Talking about me, hacker community is basically a group of like-minded people having the same interest in attending hackathons and motivation to solve the shared problems of our society. So it is super awesome to be part of such a community. Now, you might be thinking that for whom is this community and who can be a hacker? So let me tell you. A hacker community has people with different skill sets, different backgrounds. There are people, from beginner levels to intermediate to advanced level as well at the same time. And even everyone in the chat as well today, you can be part of the community as well. Your skills and your level of experience are not the criteria to join anytime. They will eventually grow as you become the part of this amazing community. So what else do you experience being a part of the hacker community? As I said earlier, that I love interacting with people, and hackathons give me that opportunity to just make new friends with whom I can share my knowledge, discuss common interest, and learn from them at the same time. And believe me, it feels so good to have people who understand you more than yourself. And other than that, being a part of the community, you can share ideas, you can share your knowledge and teach people. There is just so much to gain that I cannot express that enough. Also, hacker community helps people to collaborate based on their interests and skill sets. People come together to work on a project to bring a solution to an existing problem. And apart from all the things I talked about earlier, you also get to contribute to open source. There is definitely more to add with collaboration and open source, as the talk title itself says about that. But I'll be definitely covering more of that in my upcoming slides. But most importantly, be the part of hacker community or any community in general to celebrate and have fun and enjoy your presence, because yes, you are an awesome person being part of an amazing community. And yes, there is so much that can be said about it. But now let's head over to something very unique, which is gateway to collaboration. Now, whenever we talk about collaboration, what do you understand by this? Now, again, this is your time to use the live chat section. What is the first thing which comes up in your mind while you hear the word collaboration? It can be anything. It can be something where, with respect to your college, with respect to your education, any of the work you are doing, any of the internship. It can be anything. So, what is that first thing which comes up in your mind when you hear the word collaboration for the very first time? Let us know in the chats. Personally, talking about me, I see it as a gateway to so many opportunities. Now, from the very beginning, when I started my journey with communities, I have learned so much and gained many opportunities out there. I have seen myself growing, and collaboration is such a strong aspect that can help you enhance your growth and can lead you somewhere where you won't even imagine. So, that is the power of collaboration. Let's talk more about the same. So yes, especially mentioned in the earlier talks as well by our awesome speakers here, that collaboration is the key. Now, if I go with the definition, collaboration is the process of two or more people, entities, or organizations, working together to just complete a task or maybe achieve a goal. So now let's understand what are few out of many ways that collaboration can take place at especially a hackathon, because this is what we all are, talking about over here. Cool. So, with respect to hackathons, when we talk about collaboration, there are various aspects to it. At first place, as you can see, hackers collaborate in teams because the majority of the audience in a hackathon are hackers. So, while participating, hackers do collaborate with other team members, other hackers at the venue. They start with the ideation, they brainstorm on various opinions, suggestions. They try to come up with various ideas, problem statements all together, and they start brainstorming on the scene. They start thinking of various approaches on. They ask questions to each other, they answer others questions at the same time. So this is where collaboration starts at very basic level. People collaborate in a team just to come up with some solutions to an existing problem. Then they start with implementation. Team formation happens before that, and at the end, it happens like executing it and then pitching it in front of judges and everything else all together in the loop. So that is where it starts. Then, of course, it's a very interesting term which many of us might be aware about, which is pair programming. So this is another example of collaboration, which is really very effective at the same time and helpful, because when I have personally experienced this, when I used to do something alone, I used to take much of my time from my entire day or schedule. But when I started, collaborating with people, when I started, interacting with folks in the community, I observed that there's a lot of learnings altogether, and it saves me a lot of time as well at the same time. So that is definitely something perfect to do. Next comes that mentor connect session. Now at a hackathon, there are not just hackers, but the mentors as well present over there to just guide you, and give your problem or idea a feedback. Mentors are there to share their experiences from the hackathons they have been in the past and various other ways. So what happens is when you're participating in a hackathon or just being at a hackathon, you interact with those mentors, and that is when you start collaborating with them as well. It's just, the conversation which is starting at the moment is helping you making opportunities for yourself or creating opportunities for yourself, because it's not always necessary that opportunities will come forward to you by its own. Many times it happens that you yourself create an opportunity for you or your community. So that is where it all starts. The first step is starting the conversation anytime, anywhere. That is for sure. And collaboration will definitely happen along with your way of conversation, because when you start conversing with people, you'll start identifying common interest, and what are the things you are sharing, what are the things you are more passionate about, what are the ways you can like look forward to upcoming events or something like that. So it can be in various other ways. Next come is like organizers and sponsor relations. So, for example, if someone is hosting a hackathon, they'll definitely reach out to various sponsors. So, what happens is the sponsors not only just sponsor the hackathon, but at the same time the organizing team and the sponsors have such a relation where they can communicate with each other. They work for the particular hackathon. They share their ideas. They share different aspects to implement some challenges, some prizes at the hackathon. And throughout this process there is a lot to learn, believe me, because for example, someone who is a student is hosting a hackathon. It's a great opportunity for a student to understand how things work at an industry level, and it bridges the gap between the university students and the industry professionals. So that is something really awesome. Community partnerships, of course. I have seen various hackathons in the past have collaborated with various communities out there. You know, uh, it really helps anyone to connect with such a large group of audience. For example, if I'm studying in my college, in my single class there would be around 60 to 100 people at a single time. But what if I participate somewhere where there are hundreds of community partners? 100 is still a big number, but even if we consider 10, which is a small number, if there are 10 community partners, there are so many community members out there. You have an opportunity to collaborate with all of them, right? It's just that how you start the conversation, how you are thinking to build the network in a meaningful way, and how valuable they are for you. So it all starts there. Last but not the least is the hacker community altogether. Now, when I talk about hacker community, everyone involved in the hackathon, right from the beginning, be it organizing team member, the hackers, mentors, speakers, judges, sponsor representatives, or anyone else altogether, they are all involved in the hacker community. So this is something which is really, really, really big, and you can definitely take most out of it, because hackathons are not just an event of few days. Of course it runs for 24 hours, 36, 48 hours, but it's not just limited to that. Even after the hackathon ends, the community is still going to exist. You can still communicate with people, you can still collaborate with them. So that is a way bigger opportunity than anything else. And yes, while hackathons are the gateway to collaboration, they also are the gateway to collaboration and open source. Now, this is one of the important aspects of any hackathon community, believe me. And with that being said, let us understand the true essence of the scene, which is hackathon and FOSS. Now, FOSS stands for free and open source software, right? And for open source, we need transparency, isn't it? Now, when I say transparency, I mean that various projects or any other software which have publicly available code and information to access. And guess what? Hackathons are the birthplace of open source projects. There are a lot of hackathons happening each weekend with tens of thousands of hackers, every year submitting their projects which they have built working on weekends during the limited time period, and by using different tech stacks and softwares which all are open source. So in most cases what happens is that hackers collaborate to form a team and then work on projects. Now, most importantly, open source is not just about code. Today, it is used for designing, documentation, recruitment, file sharing, and multiple domains one can think of. Also, I would like to highlight one of the statement which we say in our EdiHub community, that is collaboration first and code second. Because even before we get to start coding, we brainstorm on various ideas, problem statements, we have discussions as well, and various other things altogether. So that is why here is the statement that collaboration first and code second, and it really, uh, matches and resonates with the work we do at hackathons as well. We do not straight away, start coding without even thinking once, and without even conversing or having that discussion with our team members, especially. So that is why this is the statement. And at a hackathon, hackers uses open source tools, softwares, and platforms, and many of them build their skills overnight around different open source tools and do wonders with the same. So you see, from starting with a normal hackathon open source projects, hackers end up doing valuable contribution to various organizations across the world and just end up building the skills that can help make this world a better place to live. And after knowing all this, you might be wondering that how can one get involved with the hackathon and hacker communities? Well, it is very simple. There are various roles with which one can get involved. So let us quickly have a look on that. Now, you can become a hacker and gain the experience worth remembering. You can help others by becoming the part of an organizing team. You can definitely become the hackathon mentor and teach hackers so that they can learn and build something great. On top of that, you can be the workshop or talk speaker to just share your knowledge and your experiences at the same time, which you might have gained in your journey so far. And one more way to approach it is like becoming the part of the hackathon jury panel to just judge the great pool of projects which are submitted by the awesome hackers over there. And just in case, if you want to, experience all the above mentioned roles which I just explained, just be an organizer and host an outstanding hackathon out there, and that is more than enough for you to experience all the above roles. Last but not the least, I would quickly share my hackathon experience and journey with you all. And talking about me, I started my hackathon journey way back in February 2019, and my team ended up winning the very first hackathon. And after I experienced the environment and hackathon culture, I never looked back. I started attending various hackathons at different places in my country and online, and also won a few out of them. And so far, I have attended 10 plus hackathons as a hacker. Later in 2020, I thought of giving back to the hacker community and wanted to teach hackers and share my experience. And I started mentoring and speaking at different hackathons. And so far, I've been a mentor in 30 plus hackathons and speaker in around 14 plus hackathons. And I'm really loving, the way hackers are coming up with various ideas over there as well. And super enthusiastic people out there. The community is growing every day now because we have shifted online and there are no barriers of, the borders or no venue barriers or anything else as well. So anyone can participate, and that is so awesome to see. And I even organized few hackathons to help hackers solve the shared problems of our society and give them the opportunity they can grow with. And just in case, if you want to know more about my hackathon journey, feel free to check out my website, which is siddharth-hacks.live. You can also find all my previous conference and hackathon talk over there, and any other thing more about me as well on the website. On that note, I would like to thank each and every one of you for attending my talk and being with me so far. Thanks for being a wonderful audience. Really appreciate it. And also, huge shout out to the entire DevRelCon Tokyo team for just putting this amazing conference together and helping spread the experiences from spaces like developer relation communities, hackathons, and whatnot. So kudos to you folks. And also, I would love to connect with you all people on social media. So do not hesitate to find me online on my mentioned platforms as below. And yeah, thanks once again. I'm open for any of the questions from the audience as well. Thanks a lot.